It took me 8+ years to learn what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. I always wanted to be a content creator ever since the age of 19, and 8 years down the line, I am constantly starting and restarting. And while that may not be a bad thing, I know in my heart that if I knew then what I know now, it would have bridged the gap so much between me and my goals. And now that I know knowledge is power, that is why I'm creating this video, to be able to share with you what I didn't know then, to be able to bridge the gap between you and your goals. Because trust me, some desires never really go away. You're gonna be having them now, and you're gonna be having them still when you're 40. So it's better to deal with them now than 8 years down the line. When I used to be younger, I used to have such great imagination. Like, imagination was such a good thing. Like, I remember my compositions were so good. Like, I used to have that imagination. I used to be so creative. But I guess as I grew older, it became a limiting factor because there were so many imaginary enemies that I created in my head. I used to think that people are seeing through me, they're seeing through my insecurities. That there are these people and they do not like me, and they probably will not like me. And it really hindered me. I used to think people can see through you and they can see everything about you, and they will not like those things about you. And I wish I knew that people are so focused on themselves more than they are focused about you. In their minds, they're thinking more about themselves than they are thinking about you. And that if someone is not so focused in their business that they're focused in your business, that's a them problem. Like, I remember the first time that I wanted to go to a gym, and I had to tell my friend, hey, please, let's go to the gym together. It's not that she wanted to go to the gym, it's because I wanted to go, and I felt the need to have a right hand man in literally everything. It was so hard for me to be able to do things alone. I used to think that I have to have somebody doing something with me so that it can be meaningful. So I didn't gather up the courage to go to the gym alone until at a later date, when I realized this is what I want to do by myself, not that I want someone else to do it with me. But in otherwise so many things, I realized that I just needed someone else to help me so much. It's not that I couldn't handle myself, it's that I didn't want to handle myself, because I used to think that people can see everything and people will judge me. And so I always felt the need to have somebody to be able to protect myself. And I remember it used to hinder my social ability so much. I was so afraid to interact with people, learn about new people, and get to interact with new people, because I always felt like they're like I'm gonna be receiving judgment. And I wish I knew that was false. I used to have such a very regressive mindset. I used to think that your failures are printed on your face and you're walking around with them. Like, when you try something and it doesn't work, that means that it defines you. I didn't know that those things do not define you. And I didn't know that when you're young, when you're trying things, they're not even supposed to be considered as failures. They're supposed to be considered as learning experiences. I wasn't able to build a good relationship with failure to be able to grow from it. Every time I tried something and it failed, it made me crawl back into my small shell and think, yeah, I'm not made for anything good in life. While I had really great visions for myself, I feel like that mindset really blocked me from being able to access it. I remember the first time I started crawling out of my shell, I was around the age of 22 to 23. And then I was really starting to love life at this point. And then, like a couple of months later, a business that we had invested in failed. And I just crawled back in my shell. I thought that I'm a failure. There's no light for me. I'm never going to see the light. And right now, I'm starting to breathe again. I'm starting to realize, okay, things happen, life happens, doesn't define you. Like, I'm starting to go with the flow of life. I'm starting to understand that I'm not supposed to control life. I'm supposed to let life flow. Because if you're holding on to certain things, then there's no space for other things to come in. So now is the time that I'm starting to let things go and let life flow, and realize that, good things come to those who wait, and good things come to those who are patient, but also good things come to those who let life flow with ease and stop holding on to the driver's seat consistently. I think I figured out that through all of this and having an aggressive mindset and thinking that people are constantly seeing me and judging me, I had a people pleasing mindset. And there's this quote that has been circulating around social media lately: there is no version of you that you can present to the world that will protect you from criticism. So just do the shit. There's some people who will always be there to judge you. There's some people who will always point out the mistakes that you make. But what mistakes are they making? At least you're learning, at least you're trying. If Jesus faced all that criticism and was still able to walk in his purpose, I have the ability and the power to do so. And remember to have the courage to start doing things alone. Those things that you do alone are what make you recognize your power. They're what draws you in and make you realize that, okay, I can be able to do some stuff. those are the things that are going to slowly build you up. Things alone is like the most beneficial thing that you can learn, because you learn how to depend on yourself more than you depend on others. And while it is good to have community, while it is good to have, people that you can share with, that you can share things with, and just laugh together, it is important to do things alone. Some things you are meant to go through alone, do alone, because that is what makes you realize that you have power in you, that you can do things that you never even thought you would do.